What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB, back in the building, back with another video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into this one really quickly, guys. I want to talk a little bit about Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas, guys. I want to give them their flowers while they're here. I did attend the fight last Saturday night, which was a great fight, great card. And just want to show a little bit of appreciation to those guys for giving us this great boxing entertainment. You know, as of late, a lot of times we don't get, a lot of fights that we want. And I thought this one was a great fight, and I thought it was good enough to, show my appreciation for it. And I want to start off with Yordenis Ugas. First of all, I want to wish him a speedy recovery. I want to send a shout out to his fans around the world, all the Cuban people. You guys know he suffered a horrific eye injury. Errol Spence Jr. broke his orbital bone, so wishing him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he returns to the ring. I don't know how soon it'll be. I don't know what he's planning on, but I hope he returns to the ring. Even though he lost the fight, he is a true warrior in my eyes. Now, I want to get on to Errol Spence Jr., guys. Errol's been through some things, guys, and he has accomplished so much, reaching this point where he's now a 3-belt champion. He's been through a lot of things, some of them self-inflicting, some of them not. But, that's life. Sometimes you're going to make decisions that aren't in your best interest, but it's how you handle things afterwards that make you the person that you are. Now let's go back. Before Errol became a champion, he had to go over to the UK, guys, in enemy territory to capture the IBF title from Kell Brook. First of all, that right there, that had to be hard right there. You go over to a country, a guy has a whole country behind him, and you're getting booed, and but you still go over there and you still manage to capture the title and breaking Kell Brook's orbital bone. That's the first time he broke somebody's orbital bone, was over in the UK. Now, fast forward a little bit, he's fighting Mikey Garcia. A lot of people had doubts in Errol Spence Jr. at the time. Mikey Garcia moved up to 147, daring to be great, calling out Errol. A lot of people thought it was crazy at the time, but then people were talking, Mikey has a better boxing IQ. And at the time, Errol was thought to be this guy that's going to come straight ahead and just punch you to the body. People didn't realize how good his boxing IQ was. And he proved that in that fight by outboxing Mikey Garcia, and just a one-sided fight. It was just it was incredible to watch. And then he went on to defeat Showtime Shawn Porter, who was the WBC champion, in a barn burner of a fight. You guys remember that fight? He did drop Shawn Porter in the 10th round. And I think that put him ahead in the fight. So that was the second title he captured. Now you guys got to think, back during this time, Errol Spence Jr. was not on his A game, to say. He hadn't been, I know he hadn't been doing strength and conditioning like he should. And I know he didn't for the Mikey Garcia fight. I think he said he just ran and did a lot of sparring and hitting the heavy bag. I'm not sure how much he actually did for the Shawn Porter fight, but he wasn't doing the things that he should have been doing. And I think that is because of success. He had the success of being the IBF champion. A lot of times when you taste that success, you slack off on things that are extremely important. Just the little details. And I think he fell into that trap. A lot of people fall into that trap. Outside of boxing as well. It just depends on where you're at. And you guys know, after that fight, shortly after the Shawn Porter fight, he had that car accident. Just a terrible car accident where he could have lost his life. He could have lost his career. He could have lost everything. God willing, he actually survived that. and he went on to have to, do rehab, just, get his body back in shape, which he said was, he was hurting all the time. You guys remember the pictures of his face, and I'm sure it had, weighed on his mind mentally. I don't know if you guys ever been in a car accident like that. I was in one like that where I turned over in a car, and it really affects you. You're really hesitant about driving. You have guilt. Sometimes you think to yourself, why did you survive? Something like that. So I kind of have an experience with that. So I'm sure he went through a lot of that type of stuff. But I want to say he took that incident, and it turned him around when it came to his craft, what was important to him. He talked about becoming closer to his family. He talked about being focused more on his boxing, focused more on his nutrition, and it was plain to see after he recovered that was his number one priority, was being, the best version of himself. He came back. He didn't want to tune up. He came back to face Danny Garcia. He defeated Danny Garcia, just, pummeled Danny Garcia in that fight. And then he got the biggest fight of his career. At the time, he was going to face Manny Pacquiao. And then he gets another, thing that just throws a monkey wrench into his plan. He had the eye injury. And then, of course, you guys know Yordenis Ugas steps in, defeats Manny Pacquiao, and he becomes the WBA super welterweight champion. And Errol Spence had to have the surgery on his eye, and then a lot of people were questioning whether or not he was going to be the same fighter. Me as well. I was questioning that because, he had been through so much, and it's just a lot for a person to go through. But then he comes back, and you guys saw what he did last Saturday night. He did have some hiccups in the fight. I thought the first half of the fight, Ugas was doing quite well. And I can attribute that probably to ring rust on Errol's part. He wasn't setting up his shots, and he wasn't working behind the jab like he normally does. A little bit overzealous, got caught a few times. But then once he got his timing down and bearings together, he proceeded to do what Errol Spence does, and he did it quite effectively. Like I said, he did damage Yordenis Ugas' orbital bone in the fight, and went on to capture a third title. So just want to give props to Errol the True Spence Jr. for doing what he set out to do. He hasn't completed the mission yet. The mission was to become undisputed at 147 pounds. He's been through a lot of obstacles to get this far. He has one more belt to go, and he's fighting a guy that is truly a great fighter in the sport of boxing, a guy that is seen as a pound-for-pound fighter around the world. This is a big test. Can he get through it? Only time will tell. Hopefully we get this fight by the end of the year. This is going to be, the biggest fight, the build-up, I think, since the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao saga. But you guys tell me what you think about Errol the True Spence Jr. I would say his road to trying to become undisputed, and the things that he's been through. And like I said, shout out to Yordenis Ugas. You're still a warrior in my eyes. I know your people are proud of you. People in Cuba are proud of you. I did have a chance to go to Cuba a couple of years ago. Great people out there. Some of the best beans and rice I've ever had in my life. And you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.